Good morning. It's Greg Benjamin, candidate for state representative of the 188th legislative seat in the city of Philadelphia, the state of Pennsylvania. Just coming out to share some thoughts for you out there in our communities. There's a couple of major concerns that we have right now as a result of this coronavirus and how does it impact certain important matters. One is how is it influencing the health and well-being of our constituents. As a candidate and as a ward leader, one of the things I am doing is I'm reaching out to my committee people so that they could reach out to their block captains so that we can develop a method of getting information as good as possible about how some of our neighbors are dealing with this coronavirus situation. As ward leader, I'm hoping that the committee people who do find out information will not mind reaching out to me. I'm hoping that as a candidate that I'm able to reach out to some of those folks who have expressed not just their interest in my campaign, but I want to find out how they're doing, how are their neighbors doing, because this is going to take a collective effort to address this situation that we're confronted with. We have to have all ears to the ground so that we can know exactly what's going on with our neighbors during this problem with the coronavirus. The other piece with that is let's make sure we do best practice safety. Let's make sure we're washing our hands on a more consistent basis. I know you was washing your hands before this occurred, but now I'm hoping that you, including myself, we're washing our hands even more. I'm hoping that we're conscious of respecting our senior citizens and not being in their company unless advised by the professional folks around them. But on the same note, like I said, make a telephone call. Just find out what's going on with a senior in your community. Another concern I have is how does this impact election day? I know me as a candidate, I'm going to take heed to the warnings that are being sent down by the federal, the state, and local government, and they're asking us not to do certain things. So even as a candidate, I have to respect that. And that being said, what I would hope is happening now by the decision makers on all levels, state, federal, and local, as to how do we deal with the concerns around election day. I hope that in Pennsylvania that we're looking at pushing a date back or something that would be convenient for the voter. Voters should not have to decide whether they're going to go out and face the possibilities of a virus versus them having that opportunity to practice their right to vote. So I'm hoping our elected officials, I'm hoping those that are engaged in this process to make a decision around our voting, you're really looking at, is April 28th the day that we should be looking at, or should it be pushed back? Because from what I'm hearing, there's possibly more effort to get people to isolate, to quarantine, self-quarantine, stay in your homes. I'm advising people to stay in their homes. I'm going to stay in mine as much as possible. But the thing is, how does that impact election day? That needs to be on the table right now. And then the third thing, and I think we need to really pay close attention to this, how does this impact the census taking? The census taking is a very important process to every United States of America citizen. And we need to make sure that we know exactly what is going to happen regarding to the census taking, because we want to encourage every American, everybody that's on this soil, set foot on this soil, will partake in the census taking. These are important things. We need to know how this is affecting our community and our neighbors. We need to know how it is affecting, the voting process. And we need to make sure that we know just how it's affecting us, just period. Because I see people who are really afraid. And I get it. But I do have a little ray of light. I want to put this little sunshine on it. I was in a supermarket today, and for those of you who know, I am a part of ministry. And as I was browsing through to pick up a couple items for the house, a lady stopped me, and we started talking. And then over the course of our conversation, I mentioned that I was in ministry, and so she said, if you're in ministry, then can you answer how would God allow the people to suffer like they are? And you know what? You have to always be prepared to give an answer. And I just laid it on her heart that this is not the heart of God that we're encountering when you see some of the poor conditions and so forth that are affecting people. This is God revealing the heart of people, of mankind, because we can help to make the difference in what's going on. We can make sure that we address people in hunger. We can make sure that we clean our streets together. There's just some things that what we're seeing, the violence, the negativity, that's just the heart of man. Well, when I got finished talking with her, she was so happy about what I said. She said, well, what do you do? I mean, does your church do anything? I said, well, over Church Compassion, we feed the children daily, not just because of Corona, but because it's our duty to show what God does on our heart. And as a result, that young lady pulled $40 out of her pocketbook. And she said, would you make this contribution for me to your ministry? Because I like the way you responded to everything I said. So I'm just basically saying, hey, look, there's still there's an upswing. People have good hearts. And now is the time when we're going to see exactly where people are. So again, I'm concerned. I hope you're concerned about your constituents, your neighbors. I hope that you're concerned about the impact this coronavirus is going to have on our census taking. But just as importantly, and you need to call your local officials and ask this question, how does this affect Election Day? Because we want people to have the right to exercise their vote. Listen, if you have some questions, if you need to know anything, you can reach my campaign manager. Her name is Christina Williams. Her phone number is 267-539-8929. That's 267-539-8929. And please remember this last piece. Our campaign needs your financial support. If you have a moment, please go to Greg4Philly.com. Greg4Philly.com. And press the donation button and make a donation to our PayPal. Help us out. We are serious about doing what's best for our people. You have a good day and be safe.